Tonight on your DC News Now at 6, a man is dead after he tried to ram his car through a barrier near the U.S. Capitol building. Our Dave Laval is on the scene and will give us a rundown of what we know so far. And another weekend full of shootings here in Washington, D.C. and across the DMV. We're going to take a look at the shootings across the area and what police say you can do to help.
And some light rain and drizzle is in around the area. We're seeing it quite obviously on our radar scope. How long will it last, though, and how much rain could you expect as we go into tomorrow morning? That's all coming up.
And thank you again for joining us on DC News Now at 6. I'm Max Marcilla. Tonight, Metropolitan Police, they are handling the investigation into a deadly encounter this morning near the U.S. Capitol. Capitol Police say the man shot himself after he drove his car into a barricade at the corner of East Capitol Street and 2nd Street. Our Dave Laval is on the scene, and he joins us now live with the latest information. Dave, what's going on there now?
Max, Capitol Police have identified the man as 29-year-old Richard York III of Delaware. This all happened shortly after 4 o'clock this morning at the barricade located right behind me. Police say flames engulfed York's car when he got out of it after he rammed the barricade. He then fired several shots into the air along East Capitol Street. It's an area between the U.S. Supreme Court and the Library of Congress. Officers responded and approached York. Police said York shot himself and died. No one else got hurt. It does not appear any officers fired their guns. Capitol Police do not believe York targeted members of Congress who were on recess. The incident attracted plenty of onlookers, including those who live in the area.
Very unnerving that it happened so close to not only our Capitol and the Supreme Court, but also to so many people's homes.
Investigators are still trying to find out why York rammed the barricade. They also want to know how the car caught on fire. One possibility they're exploring, York did it. We're live near the U.S. Capitol. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thank you for that update on that story we've been tracking. The other story we've been tracking all throughout the day, really throughout the weekend, is the violence across the DMV. In Prince George's County, several shootings erupted within the past 48 hours. DC News Now's Katie Ree is here in the studio, and she has the latest on what's been going on across the area.
Just this weekend, there were 3 separate fatal shootings in 3 days. The most recent one happening in Seat Pleasant in the early hours of Sunday morning. Police responded to the 5700 block of Martin Luther King Jr. Highway in Seat Pleasant. That's where they found a man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. This all happened at around 2 o'clock on Sunday morning near Pleasant Liquors, and it happened less than 600 feet from the Maryland-D.C. line. Our contributor Larry Calhoun at DC Real Time News spoke to police at the scene.
They found one individual suffering from multiple gunshot wound injuries. That individual has been transported, described as life-threatening critical injuries. They will remain on scene investigating the circumstances what led up to this shooting.
Now, that man was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital, but this shooting wasn't the only one that happened this weekend in Prince George's County. On Friday night, shortly before 9 o'clock, a young man was killed after being shot multiple times in the 6300 block of Seat Pleasant Drive in Capitol Heights. And then a few hours later, another man shot and killed in the 12900 block of William Beans Road in Upper Marlboro. That one happened at around 2:30 on Saturday morning. Now, police are asking for your help in these shootings, whether that be the Seat Pleasant Police for Sunday morning shootings or Prince George's County Police for these weekend shootings. And if you have any information about any of those shootings, you're asked to call the police. Those numbers and the anonymous way to send information is on our website, dcnewsnow.com. For now in studio, Katie Ree, DC News Now.
All right, Katie, thank you, and we're really hoping everyone continues to stay safe and inform police if you know anything. Now, weekend nights, you know, they are mostly for enjoying a night out on the town, great food, entertainment, and friends. But over this weekend, one Arlington pub, well, they are not hosting any customers. Instead, they are just trying to recover from a tragedy. DC News Now's Dave Laval has been tracking that story since Friday and brings us the latest.
Doors to Ireland's four courts remain closed to the public. It's not hard to see why.
It's horrible. It's a nice neighborhood bar, and it was here for St. Patrick's Day, and it's got a good crowd.
Henry Sullivan and others get their first look at what remains of the Irish pub as wood panels cover up the worst of the damage. A car slammed into the restaurant Friday night. The crash injured 15 people, according to Arlington County Police. Their preliminary investigation claims the driver traveled north on North Courthouse Road when he left the road and struck the restaurant.
Well, I think it's a disaster.
Russell Imrie has one question he wants answered.
That somebody would drive 30 feet into this place. I mean, they were out of control for some reason. It'd be very interesting to find out what the driver was doing. I mean, what was going on with the driver to hit a restaurant and drive right in? You think they'd stop?
The driver and passenger were among the 9 people transported to hospitals, as both sustained non-life-threatening injuries, according to police. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. Meanwhile, Sullivan is among those who reflect on what happened to the local landmark.
Good neighborhood vibe to it. They have their personalized mugs if you want one. I have friends who have them, and it just seems like a really good old Irish pub. I'm from New York, and it's right out of the same Irish theme as you might find in Midtown Manhattan somewhere.
The restaurant encourages customers to let the good times start here, but there's no word when that could happen.
All right, that was Dave Lavelle reporting. Police, the latest information Dave told us is that 2 of those people brought to the hospital remain in critical condition. 1 is in serious condition, but they are stable at the hospital. The 6 others who went to the hospital, they were all treated for non-life-threatening injuries. That does not include the 6 patients who were treated and released on the scene also with non-life-threatening injuries. And the owners of the restaurant, they are trying to raise money to help rebuild. There is no timeline on when it could be reopened. Over in Montgomery County, the Board of Elections has officially certified the results of the July 19th primary election. And among the races, the closest call was for the Democrat representative for county executive. Current executive Mark Elrich, well, he has beat out opponent David Blair by just 35 votes. Now, Blair has gone on Twitter and said that he'll be requesting a recount just because of how close the vote was, and we will have more on the recount as it happens. And now an update to a story we've been tracking for days. Author Salman Rushdie is on the road to recovery, according to his agent, only days after he was attacked on stage with a knife. Rushdie is now off the ventilator, and he is talking and joking. The fellow author reporting that update on Twitter. Rushdie was attacked by 24-year-old Hadi Matar, who has pleaded not guilty to attempted murder and assault charges. He is being held tonight without bail. And the hearing for D.C. rapper Noah Settles, also known as No Savage, that'll begin tomorrow in Fairfax County General District Court. Settles turned himself in back in June when he pulled out a gun and shot it at the Tyson's Corner Center. Now, luckily, no one was injured in that incident, but Settles is being charged with several counts of malicious shooting, 1 count of attempted malicious wounding, and 1 count of a display of intending to use a weapon in the act of a felony. That hearing, again in Fairfax County, begins tomorrow at 2. And we also have an update on the Fairfax County motorcycle crash we first brought to you last night. The Fairfax County Police have released the identity of the driver who crashed into a vehicle and died at the scene. He was 43-year-old Abdul Lee of Lorton. Police have also released that the driver of the vehicle Lee struck was a 2010 Jeep Grand Cherokee. The driver was unharmed. Now, the police also believe alcohol was not a factor in the accident. They're still investigating a cause, so if you have any information, please contact the Fairfax County Police. Well, for the last 4 months, migrants have been flooding into the nation's capital. They were sent here by Republican governors, both in Texas and Arizona. And it's been something that's worrying to D.C.'s top officials. It's prompted Mayor Muriel Bowser to ask the National Guard for help twice. D.C. News Now's Leonard Fleming, well, he has been following this story for weeks. And in this exclusive report you'll only see on D.C. News Now, he gives us a first-hand glimpse into what happens the moment these migrants arrive here in the district.
It came from Arizona with Texas plates and arrived just blocks from the Capitol building. 41 migrants, tired and drained from their arduous journey from South America to D.C., taking their first steps from a 40-hour bus ride toward what they hope is the American dream. Children with teddy bears, fathers and mothers holding their tiny hands. And what awaits them? Needed diapers, clothes, and shoes. Behind the necessities are food, love, and smiles from volunteers elated to help them.
It's an amazing feeling, to be honest, to be able to help them. Seeing that transformation in just sometimes hours, sometimes in a few days when they're staying with us. It's an amazing feeling. It's what keeps us going as well.
One migrant, 50 years old, from Colombia is now headed to New Jersey. Leaving behind family members for a better future was, in his words, an extremely difficult decision.
First, the hard part is the money. The capacity to have enough money for a trip is hard to get. I worked hard for a long time to save a ticket to Mexico.
His journey from Colombia to the Mexican border was 4 days, but there's trauma from the experience he needs to recover from.
Very long and exhausting. The adults, I felt, had a lot of anxiety, fear that they would stop us and ask us questions of where we were going and then deport us.
His stay in D.C. was just a few hours. Now he looks to realize the promise of America's opportunities. In Washington, Leonard N. Fleming, D.C. News Now.
And now an update to a story we've been tracking for months now. A new report has found the causes of the snow incident that shut down I-95 in Virginia, the one that trapped drivers on the road for hours, including Senator Tim Kaine. Well, that new report, a 29-page audit by Inspector General Michael Westfall, found plenty of ways in which the situation could have been handled better. Westfall in the report noted that a key problem was the state's lack of a specific plan to handle cases of heavy snowfall, and says that that's something the state should have been prepared for after a similar incident back in 2018 on I-81 Southwest, that's near Bristol. Now, the report also says that the agencies within VDOT failed to properly communicate or draw attention to a lack of communication with the general public, and that was just among some of the findings in the report. Westfall recommends that it would be best for the state to create a declaration of preparedness similar to the one used in West Virginia in cases of heavy snowfall.
Well, as of on cue, we see some light rain in our area, and that's kept temperatures down. Right now, they're into the 70s, even a few upper 60s. Winchester 68, Woodstock and Luray also, and Cumberland that same number. 69 at Kaiser. You hit 70 at Martinsburg, 75 at Hagerstown, Frederick, double sevens there. D.C. at 79, a little bit warmer as you go further east, but still, nonetheless, plenty of clouds around now as compared to what we had yesterday at this time. But I did say that was going to happen, didn't I? Yes, I did. I said that some showers would roll in here. Our Futurecast picked up on that activity around 5 or 6 o'clock, and sure, like I said, on cue, some of that light rain moving through. Not seeing any thunder or anything or lightning. It's just some light rain and drizzle being reported across the area. And a little wider perspective shows some of that moisture tied in with this warm front that's sitting back in West Virginia. This is the area that could see southwestern Virginia and also central and southern West Virginia that could have some stronger storms because it is tied in with that front. But we're far enough north and away from that all we should see overnight tonight will be some rain, and that will carry over into tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, there's this excessive rainfall outlook here for just part of Shenandoah's Valley here along I-81. We'll get into that in the main weather coming up in just a few minutes. But our local forecasts, at least taking you through 8 o'clock tonight in D.C., we're looking at the 70s there, lower 70s by 11 o'clock, and by tomorrow morning, upper 60s across D.C., the area, and across over towards Silver Spring as well.